Alright. The Superior Court of Kentucky County Fed, Officer 9, the Honorable Judge Ty, presiding is now in session. Please be seated in the order. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for our third day of this meeting. Okay, the Mongols. To summarize what we have done in this trial, we started off with opening arguments addressing the jurors from both plaintiff and defense. Then we started to directly examine, cross-examine, and redirect the witnesses, both into the board, because the leader of Mongols, Mrs. III, the Grand Bishop Kiev, Marco Polo, Ivan I, and Kublai Khan. With many objections leading to the trial and the fate of the Mongols, two charges of ineffective administration of an empire and uncivilized conquerors are being fought over. Before we proceed, I would like to re-establish that we will be following all the rules that take place in the courtroom and behave in a manner that respects the court and others. We will not be tolerating yelling or any poor behavior on either side. Your behavior will not be seen as important as when you are speaking. Always be an active and attentive listener throughout the meeting. And let's be unbiased for during awards and other discussions. Now, we will start with defense attorney to redirect their final witness, Genghis Khan.
So we call Genghis Khan back to the stand.
We call Genghis Khan back to the stand.
Just a reminder that you are under oath.
Your name is Genghis Khan, correct?
Yes.
And when you ruled the Mongols, you ruled with a meteorocracy, correct?
Yes.
And the generation before you ruled with a theocracy social hierarchy, correct?
Correct.
And your time at the Mongols, when you used your meteorocracy, it was based off talent, correct?
Yes.
And the generation before you was based on their opinion and their religion, correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you.
May Genghis Khan step down from the stand?
Yes, thank you, Genghis Khan.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Does the defense rest?
Yes, Your Honor.
The prosecution ready to give their closing argument.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may step up.
Hi, I'm David, and I'll be presenting the closing argument for the prosecution. The reason why we believe that the Mongols are guilty
Yeah, speak louder. You got
the
this.
reason why we believe that the Mongols are guilty of uncivilized conduct and ineffective administration empire was by lengthy practice for the state. Some just want to reject the judgment that the Mongols killed whole of people, sometimes even killing entire populations of people. And the reason they killed so many was part of a psychological warfare technique to induce surrender. This was uncivilized, but instead of just overthrown some power, they could have used some more people and tried to advance the empire even more, to make the empire civilized and advanced. Like the brutal and barbaric people they were at the time to show just intimidation, we would also like the jury to consider that the Mongols had used prisoners, whether dead or alive, as weapons of defense, such as catapults, the type of approach and thus doing spread an almost unstoppable fire. They also used prisoners as human shields. The enemy would place their arrows on the prisoners and kill them, and then the Mongols would rush in and diminish the population of the enemy team. The Mongols were also ineffective in their administration of their empire. For example, they couldn't even keep their own empire together. They broke into 4 different colonies. Additionally, when Kublai Khan ruled the Yuan dynasty, his form of administration may have appeared effective and united on the surface as a democracy, but in reality it was highly uneven within the social hierarchy. For example, the majority of people of the Yuan dynasty, which was a Han people, were placed in was put at the bottom of the social hierarchy. Consequently, numerous revolutions led to frequent changes in the administration, making it utterly ineffective. Another reason why the Mongol Empire had ineffective administration is that first it was unified against but in the course of time, each ruled by a single person rather than a single ruler. This made the different Khanates very frustrated, and they each had different administration. They couldn't all have the same sort of government. The Mongols also treated the people they conquered very brutally.
Slow down just a little bit and speak a little bit louder. You're doing great. Just want to make sure they can hear you.
On top of that, using the prisoners as weapons, they imposed severe taxes on the people they conquered. For example, Ivan Kalita, who was one of the people who benefited from the Mongols made him charge taxes on all the people in Russia. And this resulted in the poor people getting charged to pay the richer people as people can flee because they cannot afford to pay the taxes. This quote by Genghis Khan, the greatest destroyer of man, defeat his enemies, to drive them before him, to take them from all they possess, to treat who they love and fear, to ride the horses, hold your wives and daughters in your arms. Because Genghis Khan lived for war and kill people, and focused on administration. Also, the Mongols didn't show any mercy to the cities they conquered. For example, the fact that Baghdad was in Al-Mustafa, the fiercest conviction, the Mongols left the entirety of Baghdad as ruined and killed their ruler Al-Mustafa. Rare blue eagles trampling on him with horses while being wrapped in a carpet. Another way the Mongols had ineffective administration was, for instance, how accurate way they decided to rule after the Khan died. For example, when Mordecai Khan died, there was a great war who was on the next great Khan, named Kublai Khan and Erlik Sultan. This war caused many deaths inside the Mongol Empire. When it all could have been prevented, they had a better way of choosing the successors of the empire and better administration in general. The Mongols also had an nomadic Africa, but didn't have the experience and expertise to deal with more advanced administration like China and Persia.
For these reasons, what should we do?
For these reasons, we believe that the Mongols had uncivilized conquest and ineffective administration of the empire.
Yes, Shauna. You may step up. The Mongols thrived from 1271 through 1368 as an empire. They accomplished many things. They've been accused of being ineffective and barbaric. So let me ask you this. Is being organized and tactical barbaric? Is caring enough to have a solid defense barbaric? Is having an empire and wanting to maintain a successful, effective society barbaric? The Mongols weren't just attacking people to be barbaric, they saw them as a threat. Pope Innocent IV admitted killing people. He said, we have religious intolerance. However, the Mongols were very tolerant with religion. We sent Kutas letters and he still attacked us. This is the thanks we get? Kutas even admitted to being unreliable because he wasn't alive. The Mongols aren't barbaric, they just have barbaric communities around them. Misabov III, Prince of Kiev, was sent emissaries, but he rebelled and just killed them. That is barbaric behavior. The Mongols kindly went and sent emissaries, and Misabov III said, oh, just some people to kill. And that's not barbaric as the Mongols were. That isn't how it should be. Plus, Misabov III wasn't even alive during the Mongol big reign. It sounds like they don't have any reliable sources. Al-Mutazim, Caliph of Baghdad, and his side was ineffective. He said he wasn't prepared to have the Mongols come attack. He agreed that the system wasn't the best. He told us that people didn't have the same opinion that he had, that they got a load of rest in society. This is unfair and ineffective. He's just judging people based on opinions. Ivan the First was an innocent human being. Marco Polo was just a nice Italian name. Genghis Khan was a good ruler. And Kublai was just a guy. The Mongol government was a meteocracy, and Baghdad was a theocracy, and was about opinion. If you don't have the same opinion, then you place lower. With the mediocrity of the Mongols, we got people promoted by talent, not by family or by voting or by dictatorship. We do it on talent. One of my last points is that the Mongols are very effective. Some have said that the Mongols were ineffective. The Mongols were very successful in using depth to avoid costly set and peace battles. Their knowledge to move forces both on their own and their enemies helped them to consistently stay one step of another. They worked hard and were organized. They produced results and were very effective. These are just a few of the many evidential facts that we can access that prove that the Mongols were neither barbaric or ineffective. They had a strong government and were very tactical. Before we leave, I just want to state the definitions of the word barbaric and ineffective. Barbaric: unorganized, merciless, tactful, unfairness, and roughness. The Mongols were none of these things. Moving on, ineffective: not producing results, unimportant, inefficient, useless. The Mongols were, number one, very important. The Mongols were creative, tolerant, and they were very helpful to surrounding communities. In conclusion, the Mongols were very effective. They were tolerant and they were very government strong. They were prepared and they were super organized. They took all opportunities to make those around them better. They were prepared and super organized. They were very tactical and they worked very hard for their people. They made smart yet important decisions. The Mongols were an amazing empire and had an amazing rule. These facts are all true about the Mongols. We are so happy to share the truth. Therefore, the Mongols should be innocent of barbaricness and of being ineffective. Thanks so much for the jury and your honor for being here. I would also like to thank my fellow defense attorneys and witnesses. And finally, I'd like to thank the prosecution side for coming out and challenging us. Thank you all for making this happen. Thank you so much, and thank you, Your Honor.
All rise. You may be seated. Actually, why don't you tell each other each side good job? Who's your house leader? Grayson, will you lead this conversation? Perfect. Okay. So you guys just remove your assigned roles. Are the Mongols guilty of ineffective administration? They're guilty of barbaric conquest. So you guys can kind of have that conversation.
No quoting this to the jury. Yes. No quoting this to the jury.
That is that he's gonna say.
Oh yeah, what? He's either gonna quote it to the jury and be like, well, Marco Polo said they're barbaric and he's on their side.
Oh, like I'm gonna go out
No,
there?
no.
They're gonna decide before they come back in.
Yeah, but they're going to say that after they're going to change their mind or something.
They will render a decision right here, right now. It'll be final, right here, right now, before they walk away. Like, no.
Yes, they
Very
are.
barbaric.
I believe the fifth. I think that the Mongols were barbaric, but they didn't have an effective administration.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If that big of territory for almost 100 years, I mean, that doesn't seem very ineffective to me.
I like grew up with Genesis. Like they were very effective. Like they had a lot of tactics and stuff. And we're a little barbaric. A little. It's called effective tactics. Lies. It's called effective tactics.
Put your hand down, Darwin. You don't know anything.
Okay. So like
A little barbaric.
a little.
But I understand that barbaric.
Silence.
You silence.
Okay, let me speak. My fellows. So like I think you can like what Jonah said that like make my fellows like my fellows like speak my fellows. So, Jonah said that, like, I'm speaking of the Jonah said that they, like, maintain, like, a lot of territory for a long amount of time, but they did have to, like, split into, like, 4 different continents. So are you saying America is... Hey, no! Calm down! Are you saying that... I'm not done! Are you saying that America's ineffective because it's split into 50 states? America, they were still united. That's a good... No. United States for a reason. United States. Yes. So finish. No. Guys, I have the talking pencil out. Let me speak, y'all. Yes, ma'am. Go on. So, what you're talking about, like, they were technically the United States, and they all had the same government. The colonies didn't have, like, the same government, but they were Mongol Empire didn't have big dudes. They had 4 little dudes, like 4 equal dudes. But they were running different. Okay. You want to hang up the... You guys want to hang up the past? What is this? Yeah, right.
Wasn't that going to be your closing arguments or something?
Yeah, no, that's 4 continents, 1 empire, 4 continents, 1 empire. We are not united. Yippee! Yes, sir. We are the Mongols.
Yeah, Grayson. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Oh, my bad. All right, so are we all in agreement?
No, mostly.
That's close.
No, not mostly.
Uh,
No, we are not.
So you're saying they are barbaric and they weren't ineffective? Oh, we don't agree on ineffective.
I feel like we kind of agree on like that, but they're saying they were a little barbaric.
We think they were very barbaric and like also like ineffective.
Yeah, but they think they're a little
We were not effective. The perfect empire. Yippee! So basically, I think for like administration, it was pretty good. They had like several places, cause like last year, for the like empire thing, I wrote that kind of into it. I think like they like brought all the khanates and like separated it kind of a little bit, so that like they could have like bigger administration. So like kind of like the senators, they keep like orders. They weren't like they weren't like separate leaders. They were just orders.
That makes me think of Persia and the satrap.
I'm like they kept like ordering nasa and stuff, and like for barbarism, we were sometimes a bit barbaric.
Whoa, wait, I'm gonna crash. You better.
A little, what do you know? They, in my defense, they sent emissaries, they sent peaceful warnings, and then they were like, people killed
The children.
This is Twitter on. That's your dad. He's lying. That is not okay.
Parker, you're in this.
Man, I have 6th grade.
I was going with it.
6th grade only. Girls have copies and reports from.
So you're saying it's very good that the gods and children are being killed?
So here, really quick, I have a couple of things to get out.
Oh yeah, I looked at that. But I was here, so I don't know how I did.
Yeah, so I've got evaluations for everybody, so.
Oh, we write the hard paper.
So here's what I'd like you to do. I want you on the front of the self-evaluation. You're gonna give yourself a score out of 8, and then reflect. I gave you lots of questions to consider. You don't need to answer every single question, but I do want you to be reflective about the whole process. Don't just think about just the trial. Think about the past 2 weeks. Right, so attorney, this is from your perspective, how did you do the trial? Consider what you did well, what those areas you could improve. What was the most challenging part of being an attorney? What was the most fun part? what did you learn about yourself, reflection of your preparation as well as your performance. Then on the back, if you notice, I have an evaluation of your witness for the attorneys, and then for the witnesses, an evaluation of your attorney.
What if a witness wasn't here?
So based on the past 2 weeks, right, and your collaboration with them, and your preparation with them, and then your performance in the performance.
I interviewed with Angela May.
That's a tricky question. Let me think about it. Yeah,
So for the witness part, you put the witness's name or the person?
the person's name, but Oliver. Or whoever it was. Yeah. I mean, you can put both if you really want to. Obviously, when you're evaluating your peers, I either do that at home or just don't be looking at each other. I don't want you to be kicking out. What would you do? Did you give me an 8? Bro, no, don't do that. So just either flip it over or whatever, and then I'll collect these evidence.
We were supposed to like be learning something about ourselves.
Well, I always
If you
want you
do
to learn
good,
about
like under pressure, or if like you got like a little overwhelmed, or like anything.
Yeah, maybe like some people would say I learned. Some people are like, I learned that I want to be an attorney when I grew up. I thought that was so much fun. Or maybe you learn like, man, when they start asking me questions and I'm on the stand, like I've got to figure out how to be a little bit more poised under pressure in those moments. Or I learned that it's really difficult to prepare for a trial because there's all these different factors that are going through my head, and so I got a little bit disorganized and jumbled up, and so I need to figure out how I stay organized. So that gives you some ideas. So you guys can be filling that out. I'm gonna go check on with them. Did you guys make a decision? Were they ineffective? What do you think historically? What do you think my classes say?
I thought they were more parents, but they did not have effective administration.
Or even if they have like a little bit of administration at like times, but like overall.
I agree. I think that like we were pretty barbaric, but like we were like pretty effective just at times
Yeah.
we wavered. But I feel like that happens with everybody, you know? Like even in like a classroom sense or like a friendship sense, like everybody wavers at some time. Like you can be like the best of friends, but like at some time you just like have your like disagreements or have your like thought where you're like, are we still like besties, you know?
So that is tends to be what my classes say. However, I will note that is not what the last period said.
What's the last period?
Okay.
Yeah, go with last period. What is last period? How did the feds win everything last period? I heard they got Marco Polo to admit the Mongols were barbaric. That's why it should just be like. You guys should win with the ineffective. Amelia's mean. I agree with you about you. I think what will happen is I think we will win barbaric and y'all will win ineffective. And then it would just be like a retrial pretty much. Yeah, no one will. They're gonna have a retrial. Like that, but like if it was a real thing. Unless it's a majority. That was I would love to do that again. That was I would be like Nobody gets symbols. You literally only get. Oh, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we get A. I love your singing, Bernie. You're gonna make a laggy
I'm just trying to find that. I think we ate and left
I
it
didn't
there.
touch the camera for the whole time.
Forehead. It'll like come
Yeah.
Look, bro, I'm not ready.
Come on over here. Now there's video of you. You don't. Oh,
No, you go on yours.
very bad. We need to calm down and stay on
Brody, you're right. You're not.
Burn the wick. Oh, wait, he's
That's so great. It's not- Honestly, okay. So let me ask you this: the last class said that they actually thought that being a witness was harder than being
It is.
an attorney.
Other than opening the door,
That's really good.
I think it's like a little bit harder because you have to learn about this guy that you have no idea who it was. But like also with being an attorney, you have to like figure out these questions, make an opening and closing argument, and you have to like be ready for anything on both sides.
But also, for the attorney, you have to learn about every person too, because you have to be ready for like, for like, you have to be ready for objecting and stuff like that. And you have to do your questions and opening and closing argument. Yeah, and questions and
I think it depends, like, who's, like, doing the things too. Like, if the person did good, or your attorney did good, I think it's easier. But if you're, like, attorney did bad, and the other person is, like, copied everything you did good, I think it's harder.
Yeah, and I think that's true also of like, if you have a good witness, then it's easier to ask the question because they like know what to tell them, like, ask me about this and I'll answer this. So like, if they're both good, then it's easier. Yeah.
I feel like they're kind of equal because they have to learn about everybody, and the hardest part for us is probably preparing for the cross examination because we knew what our attorneys were going to ask us, but we didn't know what they were going to ask us.
Yeah, they don't.
I think being both as an attorney is harder because like the cross examination is like just you just have to prepare your questions and your cross examination, but like you also for the attorney you have to do other stuff like arguing against objections and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah. Harder?
I feel like being an attorney would be a lot harder because you have to like learn about everybody, and who you're cross-examining, you basically have to learn as much about that person as that person learns about themselves. And I feel like more assignments for the attorneys.
If you could,
I'm gonna quick interruption.
if you're a different role, what role
At
would
the
you
top of
be?
your email.
Objections written down, but then so the attorneys, I say their overall job was harder, they had more work and stuff like that, but I feel like witness is one part of the witness's thing was harder. The hardest part of the witnesses was harder than the hardest part of the attorneys, but the easiest part of the witnesses of the attorneys was way harder than the easiest part Yeah. So the hardest part of it. What do you got?
Like the hardest part of it is about
cross-examined because you really don't know what they're
because after complexity down, none of them are really bad.
Like that's the thing. Like
What? When we're cross-examining, like I cross-examining Esther, I had to work on the spot. No matter what your job is, cross-examination is like the hardest. And from the other side can get way more than they can.
Guys, you want to see how loud I can bang the gavel?
no, let's be real.
You should do it. The jury might have had it the hardest.
Why you need to sit down, guys? I can't read it.
Darwin thought you're on there.
No, I knew it was gonna be beat fell at me.
Guys, like minutes. And start. Don't even start again. Yeah. I'm not talking like you are cool. And you keep talking. I've already told on you. So basically, I think the jury could have didn't know anything about what the attorneys know or what those people know or the witnesses know.
Why would they need to know?
Because they need to use the information. They could have just been work under pressure. Because like this happens. Oh, why do you write this out? Oh, yeah, you do the same thing. If I have to write down the same thing that they did, you're not talking water bottle. And but one more fault.
You guys do not have the talking water bottle.
Yeah. What about the problem with pistol tape?
That doesn't exist anymore.
So basically, big deal. Like
It's a machine. Thank you very much. You can't use big deal.
because like they have to work under pressure, and they don't know anything. So they have to get every single information away us, and we're not even signal information. We're going to do that to make the whole entire decision.
Well, they're supposed to do that.
Hey,
Hey, you are
Yeah,
Darwin.
they're supposed to do
I
that.
don't like Darwin. He gets the talking power. He gets to say.
If you don't have a water bottle, shut up.
I agree with Clay. They have to listen for that, like they have to listen to Clay's speech and Parker's speech, and those are very annoying sounds to hear.
Especially if you become Sam or like David or something. So like
Okay, so like when like the people the jury had to like but they also had to do preparation. Yay!
All right.
Yeah!
Put it down. Hello, guys. What's the stand off? Has the jury reached the verdict?
we have, Your Honor. On the charge of barbaric conquest, the Mongols have been proven guilty. On the charge of ineffective administration, the Mongols have been proven not guilty.
So we have some awards. Your Honor, if you'll announce those awards, I'll take pictures of these people. Whatever award you think is best.
I need to go escalate.
I love it. I love it.
The best costume award goes to Jonah Pearson.
Are you ready? Let's do this. Everybody have an amazing day. Hang out with the Chromebook. I'll take these papers you want to turn in. I'll take papers.
Yeah,